So I'm coming to you from North Kansas City. I want to talk to you about 2009 Mustang GT California Special. Came with the 4.6 liter 3 valve, rated at 300 horsepower. Now the California Special has the two-tone seats, two-tone leather. These are heated seats. It's got the branded chrome accented dirty floor mats. They're a little dirty. There's the heated seat buttons right here. Also has the Shaker 1000 sound system with a 6 CD changer and the subwoofer in the trunk. This one's got aftermarket rims and tires on it. These are 20-inch, it's like MMDs with BF Goodrich tires on it. Now this one here has two-tone painted calipers. So the calipers, if you can see, the calipers have actually a two-tone on them. So the front part's red and then the back is silver and the bracket is silver. It's got a rear window louvers on it. And this one's got a Shelby hood on it. I don't believe that this is the stock hood. I'm pretty sure that they replaced this hood with the Shelby hood. I haven't been able to find anything that states that you could get one with a Shelby hood. You can see that those louvers in the hood, those scoops in the hood, are actually functional. You can see right through them. This is the engine. Now this one's got a JLT clear intake in it and a tune. But other than that, it looks to be basically a stock engine. Now I was under the impression that this cover here is part of the California Special package. And this one also has the honeycomb grille. That's part of the package. The two-tone bumpers. The GT California Special stripe. The side scoops, those are factory. The rear wing, I'm gonna guess that the black wing is factory. It has the special badging, and then it also has this cool two-tone back bumper with the airfoils in the back, and then it has rolled chrome exhaust tips. This one's got slightly tinted windows. Now I get 300 horsepower isn't a lot nowadays. A lot of V6 cars have 300-ish horsepower. V6 Mustangs and the V6 Camaros nowadays have over 300 horsepower. What we got to remember is in 2009, from 2005, when this car debuted, to 2009, Mustang was basically the only game in town for sports cars. You had Camaros, but Camaro stopped producing in 2002. So from 2002 to 2010, when Camaro came back out, when Chevy came back out with the Camaro, there was nothing. Dodge didn't have the Challengers at the time. The Challengers didn't come around until 2009, 2010. So you really didn't have a whole lot of choices. And when Ford debuted this car, the 3-valve wasn't a bad engine. It still isn't a bad engine. It's not rated for the horsepower that the Camaro that came out 5 years later after this car debuted, but for 5 years this car wasn't bad. You know, 300 horsepower. I was raised in and grew up in an era where most cars had 170 horsepower if you were lucky. Shoot, the 1984 Corvette only had 184. So coming from that era to now, where even a V6 has almost 120 more horsepower than the 84 Corvette had, that's saying something. So even though 300 horsepower nowadays isn't a lot, with a minor amount of modifications on something like this and a few bucks out of your pocket, you can get right around 400 horsepower at the crank, which puts you at around 340 to 350 at the rear wheel without a supercharger. And even though the Camaros have 420, they're only pushing about 360 at the rear wheel. So that's not terrible. We're gonna take it for a little spin, see how it feels. These things came, most of the GTs came stock with a 355. Depending on the package you purchased, based on the packages you get, you could either have a 355 rear gear or a 323 rear gear in these cars. This one comes with the 355, and it's pretty snappy. It feels pretty good. You can upgrade them to like the 373, which gives you a lot more in the seat of your pants feel, and then the 410s rear gear, that really kicks it in the butt. That's what I'm putting in my Mustang, is the 410 with the one-piece drive shaft, which takes away some of the centrifugal weight of your drivetrain. But let's take this for a drive. Lots of railroad tracks around here, so you can't go too awful crazy. These things pick up pretty good. They're no slouch. Yeah, I picked this area because I thought the industrial area would look cool, but you know, the trade-off is every 100 foot there's another railroad crossing. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. Kansas City has one of the largest train yards in the Midwest. It's a major hub for long-range freight on rails. Actually, I didn't know that until not that long ago. Now that's just in second gear from about a 25 roll. And that was me taking it up to about 40. So it gets up and goes pretty good. This is kind of a little industrial loop over in the industrial area of Kansas City, North Kansas City. So let's see, I'm doing 20 miles an hour in second gear. Got a little bit of street up ahead of me here, so goes up to 60. So it definitely runs pretty good. You're not going to win any top speed awards with it. You're not going to break the sound barrier. You're not going to break the world land speed record with it. But what you will do is you'll be able to get a little bit of a smile on your face and get to look good doing it. What's really popular about these cars isn't the engine, because when they came out with the LS, when Chevrolet came out with the LS engine, that kind of made these cars undesirable because of that. They have a few issues that are known, like the two-piece spark plug design. That's an issue. They have timing chain issues, and they're not terrible as long as you take care of your car, as long as you maintain it, as long as you go into it knowing that you have certain things coming up that you're going to have to fix. All of these issues are non-issues. If you instead decide that you don't like to do oil changes, and you don't like to maintain your vehicle, and you don't like to do stuff when your car's telling you something's wrong, and you just want to push your luck until it fails you, then yeah, it can be a problem. But if you're proactive with your vehicles, and you know the timing chain issue, that's an issue on almost all modern dual overhead cam cars. So anything with multiple timing chains and all that stuff, you're going to have issues. These things are known for the phasers. The earlier models, like the 05 to 07s, are known for the phaser plates on the phaser gears to come loose, which can cause a lot of damage. But this is 2009. By then, Ford had already fixed that issue. Now these things, they get a V8 sports car gas mileage. They don't get great gas mileage. They don't get terrible gas mileage, but they don't get great gas mileage. But if you're buying a car like this and thinking you're going to get 30 plus miles per gallon, you're shopping for the wrong vehicle. These cars are about sportiness and having fun. Races. It's not about that. It's about having fun. Shouldn't be racing on the street anyways. Now these things have a really nice suspension system for being a stock vehicle. They have 1-inch sway bars front and rear, a panhard bar, not adjustable, but it has a panhard bar to help keep that rear end centered underneath the car. And the stamped steel lower control arms in the back, they're not horrible. They could do with some stiffening up, which is one of the things that when people upgrade the suspensions on these cars, that's one of the things that they do, is they upgrade the rear lower control arms, and they put in an adjustable panhard bar, and they do better springs for a better spring rate. But overall, if you're looking for a car that's not going to fail you too bad, this thing corners pretty good. It's not as good as the Camaro, but the Camaro came out, you know, based on this design, the Camaro came out 6 years later. So, you know, actually it came out, this car came out in 05. The Camaro didn't debut until 2009 at the International Auto Show and wasn't available for sale until 2010. So they didn't have a car comparable to this until 2010. The Camaro's suspensions are better. They really are. They're a really rock solid platform. But this Mustang does hold its own.